Hello, what is up? What's going on, everybody? My fellow motorcycle brethren, dual sporter, adventure riders, everybody that's out there. Joe here, your host, Radio 690 ADV. Thank you for stopping in and listening. We missed last week. You know why? Boom, boom. That's right, fireworks, man. And not only that, it's my brother's birthday, so it was really kind of nice to just sit back and not really think about much. There's more to it than just motorcycles. And I know I'm going to get some flack for that too, because people are going to sit there and say, really? But in all honesty, that is the honest to God truth. There's really more to everything that's going on than just motorcycle and adventure riding and all that type of stuff. And that's kind of what today's podcast is about, is the other things outside of the motorcycle realm. And for me, I love motorcycles. Don't get me wrong. I love to get on. I love to tinker. I love to do all this stuff. But I also love to do a lot of other things too. That is just it fills the void that the motorcycle world doesn't. And motorcycles doesn't do everything for me. I mean, I know that's hard to believe for some people, but at the end of the day, that's really kind of the reality of it. And really, for you guys, I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, but does other things fill the void, or is just motorcycles it for you? Like 100%, like you just don't care about anything. It's just wake up, deal with your wife and your kids, or hang out with your wife and your kids, go to work, and then the rest is just strictly motorcycles and riding and all that other type of stuff. Well, for me, it's not. I kind of live in a mobile world. I mean, my wife was always telling me, slow down, relax, chill. Well, here's the deal. I'm not wired like that. I don't know if you are like that, or if you constantly just sort of got to be doing a little bit of something. I just have a big saying in my business, which I own my own business, a sign and graphic shop. And, not just that, and I preach it to my kids and to my wife and all this type of stuff. It's in my kids' world, I tell them that the button doesn't push itself. As much as you stare at it, you can think real hard, but that button's never, ever going to get pushed unless you push it. And for me, it's the same thing. It's not going to fix itself. It's not going to build itself. It's not going to do anything without user input. And for me, I'm the user. And I am constantly always thinking and moving. I mean, that's just kind of how my brain is. It's wired a little different than others, but but there's others that are out there, I mean, like my oldest son, who's 18, does not have the same set of drive scenarios as I do, but my 13-year-old does. I mean, he has the same thing. So he's always thinking of about 6 different things at one time, and he's trying to accomplish one task out of 6 tasks that are constantly cruising around in his brain. Whereas my 18-year-old is just doing the one task, and it's the only task that really kind of interests him, or it's the only thing that will entertain him. Whereas me, I'm just like my youngest. I've got about 6 things going on. I'm thinking about 6 different things, and I'm trying to not only work on the task at hand, but I'm also trying to solve the other 5 while I'm working on the one that I'm working on. So if there's anybody else out there that has that, down below, if you're watching on YouTube or if you're picking this up on, any type of podcast platform that allows you to go in and to write or to put a comment or something like that in there. I know on Apple you can put some stuff on there, but to me, if you're like that, I just think that is, I know there's a lot of people that are just, they're not like that. They're just not wired that way. And I understand that. So, but to me, I love motorcycles and I love tinkering with them, but I also have all these other things that are going on in my life. And to me, as hard as it is for other people to grasp that, I mean, they get outside of work and it's like, oh man, motorcycles and helmets and pants and AtGat and YouTube and places to travel to and all these things. it's great, but it's really only about 30% of my world, because I do have other things in my life that I can do. The one thing that I really love to do is we have a CNC machine in our shop, and I love tinkering with wood. And, when I'm not doing YouTube videos and stuff like that, I'm either at work or I'm tinkering around, but I'm still doing motorcycle stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm still doing motorcycle stuff, but I do truly love doing other things and working with wood and building things. Man, it's kind of it's a second passion hobby, I guess you could say. But, I like taking something that's not really anything and then creating something. It's really cool. And that's kind of like our sign and graphics business that we have here in Dallas, Fort Worth. We're in Keller. And that's where our studio's at too, by the way. But that's the thing is, even when we're doing graphics, like, either motorcycle decals, or we're making car decals or trailer decals, or wall graphics or floor graphics or concrete graphics or whatever, on our CNC machine, making 2.5D signs for customers, businesses and logos, all that type of stuff. That's another fill in my life, which is really cool. So what do you have on your side? I mean, is it just really only motorcycles, or are you just fooling yourself thinking that, motorcycles is going to just fill everything, and getting out and, being on Facebook or Fakebook, whatever you want to call it, and everything? I mean, is that it? Is that your business? Now, I'll tell you what, it's very awesome because we have a special guest that's coming on. Probably not this coming weekend, but it'll be the weekend after. I've got some things going on this weekend. I don't think I can squeeze it in. But Chip Monahan, he lives up in Nebraska. He's part of the Nebraska Dual Sport Riders on Facebook, if you want to check them out. Really super awesome guy. He has been following me from the very beginning. It's been a really, really long time. But, it's really kind of cool because I know he has his own business, which we're going to pick his brain about it. But the cool thing is he does some stuff with his son, and it's all motorcycle related. But it's not just dual sport, or any of that type of stuff. And we're going to talk about it with him when we get him on the Radio 690 ADV podcast show, because I want to dig in more about his stuff and what he does and what fills his void, because I know it's not just all motorcycles, but man, if you go see all the stuff that he does, he's everywhere. He gets to do all sorts of really super cool stuff, and we're going to talk about that. I don't want to sit there and try to fill this episode with that, but that's kind of some of the stuff, because a lot of his stuff I think is motorcycle, but I don't know. We're going to find out. But what fills my void, like I said, woodworking. I like to remodel stuff, take something that's old, refurb it, and make it look cool again. And not just motorcycles. I'm pretty good at that too, and I used to do that a little bit. Find an old bike that has been just forgotten about, take it, clean it, get new parts, make it run like a dream again, and biff, bam, boom. Turn around and either keep it, ride it for a little while, or sell it. And that's kind of fun. And I know there's a lot of people out there that would like to do that, and they say, well, I can't do that. I'm not mechanically inclined. Yeah, maybe you're not, but maybe you are. Have you tried? Because maybe you just need a little push, or maybe you just need to meet the right person to maybe get you in the right direction to get you going. That sometimes is all you need. I hate it when people say I can't do something, because they find the one thing that they can do and they crutch on it. And what I mean by crutch on it, I basically mean that they're just sitting there and they're just hanging on that one or two few things, and they're not willing to experiment or try. But in their own mind, they really truly think that they went out and they've experimented and they've tried other things. Have they? Have you really? Can you truly look at yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, I really tried to do that? A lot of people, if you're honest with yourself, you'll be like, nah, I really didn't give it. You know what? I tried it. It got difficult, so I quit. Man, I see that every day. I see it with my own kids. I see it with all that. And the thing is I'm working with them to teach them that, you know what? If you're willing to put a little time and a little effort and a little bit of drive, man, you can accomplish almost anything. And the things that you get to where you're stuck, lean on somebody. It's not rocket science, man. We're not building, rockets to get to Mars. We're working on a motorcycle, or we're changing a tire, or we're building a cabinet door, or we're, painting a wall. It's like my 13-year-old, we needed to paint, one wall in his room for like 6 months. And we just never really kind of just put it all together. But he would never take the initiative to go and paint the wall. He doesn't know how to paint. So that's my job to teach him how to paint. So what we did is we went in, and he was not into it. But by the time we were done, as I showed him techniques on how to use an actual paint roller, and everybody's like, oh yeah, paint roller, you stick it in there, you just go up and down on a wall and it's painted. There is actually techniques to that, to actually paint a wall, and you can paint a wall really super fast with very little effort and get great results. And it's like that with everything. It's not so much what it's who you know and how you can basically apply what needs to be done in a fashion that will allow you to get a fantastic result, whether you're building something or just refurbing something efficiently and faster than what you normally would, is if you were to do it by yourself by trying to do it by your own means. So, sip of water. Same thing with that, or to that type of deal. So to me, I love motorcycles, but like I said, 30, maybe 35%, that's what it feels. You see YouTube videos. I've got 300 and something YouTube videos. I've got a ton of podcasts. I've got a ton of tips on Tuesday that, has helped a lot of people. And I get a lot of flack from people too, saying, oh, that's just dumb, man. Why would you do something like that? Everybody knows that. You'd be shocked. Some people don't even know how to frickin' put a key or what a petcock is on a motorcycle. So that's why I make the videos that I make, is because basically what that comes down to is that, just because you know it doesn't mean that the guy next to you knows it. And the sooner that you realize that, the better off you're going to be. And being, making snarky comments like that, all that does is just put you on a pedestal with all the other guys that are freaking snarky and running their jaws on things like that. Be a helper. Don't be somebody that just puts somebody down because you don't think that is what it is. The reason that we have an education system is so that basically you have to start at, as a small child and work your way up to graduation. Nobody starts out a genius. It doesn't work that way. And just because you have Google at your fingertips does not make you a genius. It just means that you've got Google at your fingertips. And even though you have Google and YouTube or Facebook or any of those other things, does not mean that you can duplicate what you're actually seeing or doing. So remember that. So filling the voids and all those things, like I said, YouTube and all that stuff, I mean, it gets so daunting and all that stuff, with the motorcycle stuff, and trying to find new angles and new things and new videos to try to keep people entertained and stuff like that. It gets difficult sometimes, and I have a lot of respect for the YouTubers that are out there that have 100,000 subscribers or whatever. I get it. It's longevity. It's longevity is what has kept them around. It's not so that their content is just through the roof. They've been doing it for just so long that people believe in what they're producing and what they're giving. And some guys actually have like real professional studios that actually they do all the production and all that type of stuff. I do it in my home office. I don't have somebody going in and doing my stuff, writing my script for me and all that type of stuff. It's just me, so. But that's another side too. Even though it's motorcycles, it's still YouTube. It's doing the video side and then the podcast side, things like that. So, I have just other things that are just more than motorcycles. And that's why talking today, it's really not about motorcycles. It's really a little bit of motorcycle. It's a little bit about woodworking. It's a little about the sign business and all these different things that are out there that, that are just as interesting as motorcycles. I don't know what's interesting on your side that you see is as interesting as motorcycles, but I can't just turn on the motorcycle 24/7 and that's all I do. It's not going to work for me. It's not my gig. It's not my bag. It's not what I'm going to be completely, that's not going to fill my glass. It's just not going to do it. So question is, does it with you? I don't know. I mean, that's the whole thing. I would love to sit there. I wish I could have like a giant group chat of, hundreds of these either subscribers and people that are part of the channel and all these type of things. And I really would love to just sit down and pick your brain, because even if I'm out riding my motorcycle, I'm not talking about motorcycles. I've ridden with subscribers and people that I've met through the channel and all that type of stuff, and they'll even tell you it's not 24 motorcycles with me. It's not 24/7. It's not going to happen. I like to talk about other things. What the other person does, what's going on. What do you do other than motorcycles? Do you have your own business? Do you work for somebody? You know what I'm saying? Do you got any kids, man? I mean, what do you do? Do you like to camp? Do you like to go fishing? It's more than just motorcycles. So, is it more than just motorcycles with you? Because, man, when you get out on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all those social media sites, it seems like everybody puts themselves out there like it's just nothing but motorcycles. And I'm not putting you down, and I'm not trying to put you down. What I'm trying to say is that truly it? Or is there more to what you do other than motorcycles? Like when you get home from work, do you just go out and tinker with motorcycles until you go to bed? Or do you do other things? But the thing is, it's not that you do other things. What other things that you do that are like little passions, little hobby passions of yours that you just love to do other than motorcycles? Anyway, hey, I'm Joe. I'm your host, Radio 690 ADV. If you like what you hear, all that type of stuff, man, be part of it. Hit the subscribe button. Go to our website, 690adv.com. Remember, 690adv@gmail.com. You can email me anytime. We get lots and lots of emails. I do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. If I don't, it's just because I got a bunch more people in front of you. But I go as quick as I can. I just go down the row as they come in. If you're a new rider, anything like that, man, hit me up anytime. Thanks so much, man. Be out there. Be safe. Find your adventure. Enjoy everything that you do. And even on the motorcycle side. I get it. This is a motorcycle channel, and I love to talk about motorcycles, but I also want people to understand that there's more to it than just motorcycles. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy your week. Be safe. We'll see you next week. 690 out.